So welcome back students. We will going to start our next session.
So, welcome back all the students after a break. So, I hope all of you have learned the concept of list as we have covered up to the first session. So, in continuity with that, I will start with the further addition to the concepts that were left with respect to list. So, just a minute. So I hope we have covered up to repetition of list and how we can go about checking the membership in list. So as I said, this membership operator can be used in for loop, as well as these loops can, membership operators can be utilized individually also. So in these two print commands, we have just tried to check it out whether number 2 is available in the list or not. And similarly, if you want to check for not present, then we can make use of not in operator in order to just check it out whether a particular element is not there in the list. So accordingly, it will just display to you true and false, the Boolean values. And if you want to take any decision further based upon this, then you can just go ahead. So if you require a true Boolean value in order to proceed further, you can accordingly take action. Otherwise, in the else block, you can specify what is to be done in case if the item is not found in the list. So in the earlier session, I have shared with you that in case of operations on data structures, like deletion operation, so if you people have done languages like earlier we used to do in VB also, where we need to create a user interface. So usually a person who is doing such kind of job is a user end, not the programmer. So if they are if these kind of exceptions are not handled well by the programmer, then the user end may end up with erroneous messages or some kind of problem at their end. So while developing any kind of application, we need to take care of whether we are taking care of deletion operation carefully or not. So you will have to always check for the exceptions before such kind of operations. So let us move ahead after this repetition operation. So repetition works in the similar manner as we did it for strings. So as we people normally differentiate with average or a smarter one. So here in programming also, the persons who are trying to do programming or are the learners in Python programming, they can do a long way also, and they can do a effective and smarter programming also. So when we are having some smarter ways at our end, so it's better to go for effective way, but don't make your code complex enough that the other side person cannot understand. In case, let's say after developing an application, it is to be handed over to some other members in our team or group, and you have made such a complex program and not even done the documentation well, so the other person may end up with misunderstanding your code or so. So compactness is to be used only up to the level that it is well understood by others also. So these are some of the things we need to take care of while doing in general programming in any programming language. So now I am moving on to how we can identify or find index of a particular item in list. So lists are ordered collection of items. So when we say ordered, ordered is always related with some kind of mapping with the indexing or some kind of position that a particular item is holding in an entire list of items. So list is having its index value from 0, and you can also access your list items in the reverse direction, that is from right to left in addition to left to right. So when we say left to right, it is making use of positive indexing, and when we try to access the elements in the list in a reverse direction, then usually we start with -1 index. So this kind of understanding is common with all the data structures that allows us to make use of concept of indexing. So tuples as well as list and arrays all are index based data structures, and you can apply the same logic. So here you can see that after creation of a list S4, I have simply tried to find out the index of the particular item, which is a 4. So here you can see that to the index method, I have passed the element, and in response, what I'm expecting, an output with respect to its index. So just tell me what value it will return. You can respond in the chat box. If the given list is S4 equals to this, and I want to know the index of item 4. Okay, thank you. So similarly, such kind of methods are useful when we want to make a decision. Again, the same question comes before us, why we need to check index. So rather than just going haphazardly, so in case if you directly want to know what is a particular index value for a particular item in my list, so accordingly I can perform the next action according to the index value. So that's why such kind of methods are very useful while making the complete logic in your program. So after this, another is to copy a list to another list. So suppose you are having one already existing list and you want to construct a new one based upon that list. And till now, I believe all of you have learned how you can append your list, how you can extend the list. So let's say my requirement is to first of all get all the elements that are already available in one list, and then I want to continue with further addition. So please tell me, after copying the list S4 to a new list variable, let's say S5, I want to add 2 more items into it, 9 and 10. Listen carefully what I'm expecting from you people. I have first of all copied the list S4 to a new list variable through the copy method in S5 variable. Now I want you to add 2 more items into your new list. So just float in the chat window your response. Am I audible to all? S5 dot append 9, 10. Okay. So you want me to do this? S5 dot append 9, 10. So let us see what is the result, whether you people have done correctly or not. Now let me just display this, and I am again executing my program. So what is showing? Oh. Yeah. Are you available here? So just look what kind of message you will get. It is simply showing me that append takes exactly one argument. So errors helps you in learning the things. So now just again check it out. What is the correct way of doing this kind of append? Okay. So you want me to do it repetitively? So using the above statement, we have appended one item 9. By the next, we have again done the same. So has it, okay, it's working. So the list which is showing me 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So as we have not given any message here, so it's better to display a particular message also so that you can identify this is the required list. So I'm going to put a message over here. Updated list S5. So let us see, is it the same one? So you people have done it correctly. So in this manner, when, as I told you that append method in list is required in order to append an item at the end. But I'm leaving it up to you. You can also do, yeah. One more response I'm getting S5.extend 9, 10, and we are mentioning a list over here. Very good. So in this manner, there is not only one fixed way. And even I told you one range also, range method. So whatsoever idea comes in your mind, you just try to apply, and if it will show you error message, it means there needs to be done some improvement at that point. So we have tried to do it first by using append method, simply as we have not mentioned the items in the form of list, right? So you can do it in that way. Extend also is okay. So now we are moving to the next item in our agenda. Popping an element from list. Till now we have done 2 alternate ways to remove an item. So just convey in chat box, what were those? I told you earlier also, when we try to copy something or assign the thing, it refers to the same memory location. So as and when you will make some changes in S5, automatically those things will be done. So you can try it, such examples. Delete and remove, correct? So we have done in the first session the methods delete and remove in order to work out our requirement for removing an item from the list. So there is one more method, that is pop method. So I hope you people remember stacks concept, and in that also we used to do pop. So can you tell me what is the function of pop in that? What is the role of pop method in case of stacks? Have you gone through the concept of stacks? That in data structures, you might have learned this. So addition to remove an element, remove the last element inserted. Very good. So Kushagra Sharma and remove, delete the top element. So mixed reply is coming and many of you have responded correctly. So it is not about only removing an item. So just like as append performs addition of item at the end, the opposite of that is your pop method. Pop always works at the end, the last or the top item in your list. In case of your stacks, it is the topmost item, and in case of list. So you can see here that I am having a list S6 and X6, I believe it is there in the upper cell. It is having some items and many of them are repeating. So when we will execute this command, that is the pop command, it is going to delete the item at the top. So you can just see what is the output. Actually, on my screen, you are getting 43222. So can you tell me why such list is coming? 43222 and S6 was 1222, and there are so many other items also. I might have performed many operations earlier. So because of that, my list S6 kept on updating. Because currently I am not executing the entire program at one go. So in a phased manner, I have already run this particular script for testing. So I have run this command more than once. So some of the items were already not in the list. Fine. So that's why after every execution, your list will keep on changing. I told you earlier also, as and when you perform delete, suppose delete is to delete the last item you are deleting. Next time when you will execute again, it will delete the last item and so on. So the shape of your list will keep on changing. Is it clear to all of you? So pop is going to delete the item that is at the end. Is it clear to all the participants? Okay. So I was here at this point and we covered up to this. So I have covered this count method earlier also. So I hope you remember why this count method is needed. Count is going to be used with respect to list also. And in count, you can perform such kind of operation like count the number of occurrences of a particular item in a list. So you need to mention a particular item within the parentheses. So the syntax for this is name of the list dot count. And within parentheses, as I have specified 2 here. So in my list S6 here in this cell, 2 is repeating 1, 2, 3, right? 3 times. So when I will execute this command, it will show me 3. So the last value which is coming in the output box is 3. It is with respect to this count method. The occurrence of 2 in my list is 3. So similarly, can you tell me what is the occurrence of item 5 over here? If you will say S6.count 5, what will be the output? Correct, correct. 5 is also repeated here thrice. So in this manner, we have covered some of the very important aspects, like how you can go about indexing, how you can copy the things, how you can append or remove the things, popping the item from your list at the end, and concatenation of list we have done, and counting the number of occurrences of item also has been covered. So let us move ahead. So now it comes to sorting a list. Sorting is also one of a very important and essential operation that usually we require. So if your data structure, as I'm teaching DAO also, so I hope you people understand that if somebody asks you which data structure is more efficient with respect to certain thing. So if you are asked with respect to a particular operation, then you can generate a comparison that these many comparisons are needed in order to search an element from so and so data structure, right? So as list is a ordered data structure and index based retrieval can be done. Fine. So searching is affected by the features that are related with a particular data structure. So here sorting can be done by default in ascending order. And for this we have a method sort. Like I'm using here S6 dot sort and then parenthesis and print S6. So what it will do, it will simply sort the list. So my list actually at this point of time was 43222. And then it has sorted the list which is coming in the output box. You can just see the second line of the output. It is 22234. So it is in sorted sequence and the order is increasing. But if my requirement is to display the list in descending order, then I will have to make use of an attribute that is reverse. Reverse equals to true. So this is a Boolean value basically, that's why it is coming in green color. So make use of this T capital, otherwise it will not recognize as a Boolean constant. So I am using here reverse equals to true, and accordingly the list will be sorted. So output against this line will be 43222. So already my list was in descending order. Are you getting my point? Already the list was in descending order and it will do so. So as and when you are performing the sorting, you will have to take care of this. By default, in most of the programming languages, the sorting is done in ascending order. And in case you want to do it in descending, you need to identify which argument is to be set. So in Python programming language, specifically, the argument is reverse and you need to set it to true value. Then it will do in descending order. And after this, we are having a reverse function S6 dot reverse. So I wish all of you will be in a position to appreciate the efforts done by various programmers and contributors in Python. If we will try to do all these kind of operations in some other programming language that is not having such kind of concept of packages and built-in functions, then we may not be able to do it so quickly. And we may need to write a sequence of code in order to do the same task. So in order to reverse, you just need to make use of this method that is available with the list S6, the name of the list, dot reverse. So your list will be automatically reversed and you can see the output in the last line. My list is right now 43222 and reverse of this is 22234. So simple. So I hope these functions are clear to all of you. The role of reverse as an argument is to be done in sort method, and reverse is also individual method also. Don't get confused. In sort, we have used it as an argument where it is to be set to true for descending order sorting. But otherwise, reverse is also a method available in list in order to reverse your list. In this, increasing or decreasing order doesn't matter. It will just reverse the thing. So I hope it is clear. Shall I proceed further? Okay, the next is I have made it a comment here. So I request Puneet madam or Aman madam, if they are presenting over there, to kindly mute other persons who are unmuted.
Sure, ma'am, I will.
Okay, so the last line in this, my block is S6.clear and parenthesis. You can see here that this command is basically to clear all your items in the list. So at any point of time, if you feel like making the list blank or removing all the items, so you can do it through S6.clear, that is name of the list .clear method. But use it carefully. Again, I remind you the fact whether it is clear operation or it is deletion. If you will use it without proper care, then it may end up with just you can say damaging your data that you have created. So use the clear command very carefully, otherwise it will clear all the contents that you have just added to your list. So let us move further. So now next is intersection of list. Am I audible? So S7 equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is one of my list. Another list is S8 equals to 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So my concern is to just identify the common elements. So I just want to know the common elements. Okay. We will discuss the output, but before that, just tell me, have you heard of intersection operation earlier and where you use it? In what kind of data structure you apply such kind of operation, intersection? No, no for what? Means you haven't heard? No means you haven't heard of intersection operation. Oh, very good, very good. So in discrete mathematics and in set theory, we people make use of intersection, right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make use of sets for performing intersection. So in Python, the very fruitful way is to allow for conversion. Let's say I have list. At any point of time, if I feel that I want to make it a tuple, I can go for that. And I can also convert back tuple into a list. Similarly, right now I'm working with list, and suppose in list such kind of operation is not directly feasible, but I'm aware of another data structure which allows me such kind of operation directly, and method is available there. So what I will do, I will simply go for conversion for my data structure into that particular data type, and then I can perform that operation. So the same I'm going to do over here. Are you getting me? अभी हम क्या करने जा रहे हैं? जो हमने अभी लिस्ट ले रखी हैं दो, मैं उनमें से कॉमन एलिमेंट फाइंड आउट करना चाहती हूँ. और जब भी हम कहते हैं कॉमन मीन्स आई नीड टू डू सम काइंड ऑफ इंटरसेक्शन. आई वांट टू फाइंड इंटरसेक्शन ऑफ द टू थिंग्स. और इंटरसेक्शन का रिजल्ट क्या होता है? जो कॉमन ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं वो आपके एज एन आउटपुट आ जाएंगे. लेकिन ये मैं सीधा लिस्ट के साथ ऑपरेशन नहीं करने जा रही. सो आई एम गोइंग टू कन्वर्ट देम इनटू सेट्स फर्स्ट. So let us see how to do it. So I hope now you are able to see what we are going to do. So after creation of two lists, set1 and set2, I have taken two variables. And in set1, I'm going to assign my list S7. After converting it to set, just look at the set keyword. It is in green color. It means set is method. Set is not a normal variable or some other thing. It is an inbuilt method, and I have converted S7 list into set. Similarly, S8 is converted into a set. Now both of my above list S7 and S8 have become set data structures, and I can easily perform intersection now. So intersection underscore list, I have created a variable equal to set1 dot intersection, and within parentheses I am passing the second set, that is set2. So I want to perform intersection between set1 and set2. So easy to understand. Usually we perform it like this only. The first set is set1 and the second one is set2. So set1 dot intersection within parentheses set2. And after this, whatsoever result I have received, I want to again convert it back to list. So you can see over here, I'm using a list method. So set is to convert a list into set, and list method is to be used to convert back your set into a list. बिकॉज हमारा काम हो गया है, हमने कॉमन एलिमेंट फाइंड आउट कर लिए, अब मैं वापस इसको लिस्ट में कन्वर्ट करना चाहती हूँ, तो इसलिए हमने क्या किया, लिस्ट से वापस उसे सेट को कन्वर्ट कर दिया लिस्ट में. एंड आफ्टर दैट आई हैव जस्ट displayed the message common list and common variable which is holding my output. So you can see here that the answer is 237 from S7 and S8 list. So just take a minute and look at the code. Is it clear to all of you? Okay, fine. So I'm giving you a job to explore more things that are related with set today, right? आपने क्या करना है, मैंने आपको सेट के बारे में बता दिया. सेट अभी हमने और कुछ कहीं पे लर्न नहीं किया, लेकिन देयर इज अ डाटा टाइप विद सेट. So now as we have performed intersection, you explore what other operations you can perform on sets, right? So in case if you need, so you can convert always list into set and again back set into list. So let us see what is ahead. So one very interesting thing I'm going to share right now, that is about the list comprehensions. So list comprehension means, it means creation of new list from an iterable objects like a list, set, tuple, dictionary or range that satisfy a given criteria. So as I said, Python gives you a upper hand in doing your compact coding. So list comprehension is nothing but a way to create new list from another iterable object. It can be a list also, it can be tuple, it can be range, it can be dictionary and so on. So from the available iterable objects, iterable object means the things that you can iterate using their indexing. So all these objects which I have just mentioned in this comment, all of these are iterable objects. So you can create a comprehensive list out of that. List comprehensions contain very compact code, usually a single statement that performs the task. So again, I'm reminding you, if you are okay with such kind of comprehensive and compact coding, it's well and good. Otherwise, alternate ways are there. You can even do it without that also. So let us see what we are going to do in the next example. Create a list with squares of integers from 1 to 10. Fine. For this, I have taken a square variable which is having empty list. So as and when you want to create an empty list, just leave it as it is. Squares equals to square brackets. And for x in range 1, 11, my objective is to create squares of integer from 1 to 10. So definitely range should include value 1, 11. 1 से स्टार्ट करके हमें 10 तक जाना है, तो 10 तक जाने के लिए हमें एक वैल्यू अपर देनी पड़ेगी 1, 11 colon squares dot append. And what I'm going to append, see here, it is not only that you can specify a constant value or you can specify a list while appending, but you can also perform an operation. So what I'm doing, I'm taking the elements in a range from 1 to 11 and I'm computing their square and I'm appending it to a list with the name squares. So interesting it is. So आपका यहाँ पे स्क्वायर भी कंप्यूट हो रहा है वैल्यूज का, और साथ के साथ आपका 1 by 1 लिस्ट में भी अपेंड हो रहा है. So it will keep on appending the newly computed squares of the numbers from 1 to 10 in the list with the name squares. And then you can just display your output, which is shown below: 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, and so on, up to 100. So is the example clear to all of you? Okay, the next example over here is add each element of list X with each element of list Y. Listen carefully. Next requirement is to add the elements of the list to list X and Y correspondingly. So what we have done here, so can you tell me how the output is coming? You just observe, then we will discuss the things. Just observe the code, what we have done, and just try to tell it with the output. आपकी पहली लिस्ट में है 10, 20, 30, दूसरी में है 1, 2, 3, 4. हमने लिस्ट को इनिशियलाइज किया है, उसके बाद एक लूप यूज किया है, तो इसका आउटपुट जो नीचे आ रहा है वो किस तरीके से आ रहा है, जस्ट टेल.
Each element of X is the sum with each element of Y.
Yeah. Very good. तो इसमें जैसे सुख फ्रॉम UE193 कोड, खुशी गर्ग, is there any confusion? You have put question marks, so is it not clear to you? आप इसमें कुछ नहीं कर रहे, बस 1 by 1 लिस्ट का पहला जो आइटम है, लिस्ट का जो पहला आइटम क्या है 10, उसको हमने जो दूसरी लिस्ट है उसके सभी आइटम्स में ऐड कर दिया. So 10 plus 1, 10 plus 2, 10 plus 3, 10 plus 4. Muskan has responded correctly. Kalpana's output, okay, 10 plus 1, 11, then 20 plus 2. So what it is doing, it is taking the element from the first list and adding it with the rest of the items. So you can see in the output to tally your understanding. 11, 12, 13, 14, ये 10 में 1 plus 2, 3, 4 ये ऐड करने से आपका आ गया 11, 12, 13, 14. उसके बाद दूसरा आइटम लिया फर्स्ट लिस्ट से 20 एंड उसके अंदर हमने वाई लिस्ट के आइटम्स को ऐड कर दिया. फाइन. सो ये हो गया आपका 21, 22, 23, 24. फिर 30 लिया इसने, 31, 32, 33, 34. आई होप नाउ इट इज क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू. मैंने इसीलिए आपको बोला है कि पहले आप कोड को ऑब्जर्व कीजिए बेटा. इसमें देखिए पहले दो नेस्टेड लूप है. आई होप यू पीपल अंडरस्टैंड, इट इज वेरी बेसिक. फॉर लूप हमारे वर्क कर रहा है, तो जब भी हम पहली वैल्यू बेटे एक्स से ले रहे हैं, इसकी वर्किंग को आप बदल भी सकते हो ना. आर यू गेटिंग मी? क्या आप इसकी वर्किंग को बदल सकते हो कि आंसर कुछ और आ जाए? कैन यू डू इट कि दूसरी लिस्ट के अंदर पहली लिस्ट के आइटम में ऐड कर दे हम? आई वॉन्ट टू रिवर्स द थिंग. कैन यू डू इट? So what we need to do in that regard? Oh good. तो अभी हमने क्या किया है, जहां पे x लिखा है वहां y कर दीजिए आप, और जहां y है वहां x कर दीजिए. तो जो ऑपरेशन है आपका नेस्टेड लिस्ट का वो चेंज हो जाएगा. तो जैसा आपको चाहिए अकॉर्डिंगली यू पीपल कैन मेक योर लॉजिक. तो अल्टीमेटली अकॉर्डिंगली इट विल डू. तो एज पर द लॉजिक वी आर एडिंग by taking each element from the X list and adding then one by one all the items from the second list, that is Y. तो आपका नेस्टेड लूप अंदर वाला एक बार आपका ओवर हो गया, फिर आपकी X की वैल्यू बदल जाएगी, that is 20. फिर ये दोबारा से नेस्टेड लूप चलेगा अंदर वाला और सारी वैल्यूज Y लिस्ट से लेगा. फिर थर्ड टाइम आपकी 30 वैल्यू लेगा और सारी वैल्यूज इसकी सेकेंड लिस्ट से. So that's why outcome is coming like this, and accordingly my items in the list are getting appended. आप अगर इसमें लॉजिक बदल दोगे तो आंसर भी आपका बदल जाएगा. So don't go for just cramming the things. इसमें हम जो कर रहे हैं वो नेस्टेड लूप के अकॉर्डिंग ही आपका आउटपुट आ रहा है. So I have some summary points for you people. So just go through it. A list, as we said, it is an ordered collection of objects. The order of the elements is an innate characteristic of the list. So it is inherent in the list that it is ordered. Fine. So elements are ordered. If some element is at index 2, so it means we are referring it to index 2 only. I cannot put it at some other place. So for that, I need to make the changes. But otherwise, lists are to be read and referred according to their index. A list may contain any number of elements constrained by the computer's memory. So as such, there is no limit, but definitely if you will keep on extending your list, adding the items, and ultimately due to the memory limitations, it may raise an error message. So such kind of queries most of the time comes in our mind that is there any limit? Is there any limit for the things? So in Python as such, all the objects are created in such a manner that such kind of limitation is not mentioned, but definitely it is limited by the memory size. So the same object may occur any number of times. We have seen several examples where we have added one item more than once, and lists are ordered and can contain arbitrary objects. This also we have seen that how a list can contain more than one type of data items, and lists can be nested. All right. So I'm going to give you a question over here. So I have one list with the name words. So this is the input list basically with us, and my question is, write a program in order to retrieve the first character of each individual item in the list. Listen again. I'm having an input list words which contains some strings. I want to create another list by fetching the first character from each item in the list. So is my question clear to all of you? So I gave you a question. Just jot down the first character from each element in the list and create a new list. मुझे नई लिस्ट में सिर्फ क्या चाहिए? एप्पल का A, बनाना का B, ऑरेंज का O एंड ग्रेप्स का G. तो क्या आप एक ऐसी लिस्ट इसमें से क्रिएट कर सकते हैं? By using your understanding that we have covered till now. So I got one response, very good. So well done, the answer is correct. I hope others also have done. So I appreciate your efforts for doing the task. Okay, now the next question is, well done. So I have taken from Shiva, I think he has written, and most of you have responded the same. Those who are unable to do, they can see the answer, what we have done. We have taken an empty list and we then used for loop for I in the words. So let me remove this repeated. So for I in words column, list dot append, right? List dot append I0 because I'm interested in only finding the first alphabet from every item. So it will take one by one item from the list and only fetch the first character and append it to the list. And what you can do, you can use it list 1 and you can make it list 1 and print list 1. Yeah. So please, who is going to tell me why I have done so? Yeah, who is going to tell me what I have done right now? Is there any reason to modify this code? Very good. So I hope now you people have started understanding the code, that when we are writing some customized code, it is coming in black color. And when we are having some keywords like for, in, print, these are coming in green color here. So when list is basically the name of a method and it's a keyword, it is not stopping us to use, but it's better that you go for a variable name which is different from the keywords. In all the programming languages, this is a common, you can say, understanding to don't you go for using the keywords. Fine. So in this manner, you can check it out. So I'm moving to the next question. Now listen carefully the question that I am expecting you to do. I have given you the two numeric lists. NUM1 having items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another list is having items 10, 11, 1, 2. So the question here is to create list NUM3 with numbers present in NUM1 but not in NUM2. So you are required to create a list NUM3 which contains the items from NUM1 list, that is the first list, but not in NUM2. So do it. I'm waiting for your responses. Take your time. आपको लिस्ट क्रिएट करनी है विद द नेम NUM3। उसमें NUM1 लिस्ट के आइटम्स होने चाहिए और दूसरे लिस्ट के आइटम्स नहीं हो। तो वो सभी आइटम्स आपको डिस्प्ले करने हैं जो NUM1 में है लेकिन 2 में नहीं है। So Tavishi, Sharma, Tushar, you have just copied into another list NUM1.copy. बेटे अगर ऐसे ही करना होता तो हम आपको सिंपल कहते कि कॉपी द लिस्ट इनटू अ न्यू वेरिएबल। ऑब्जेक्टिव टू आस्क फॉर दिस इज टू डेवलप योर लॉजिक। क्या आप इसको चेक कर सकते हो कि जो आइटम मैं नई लिस्ट में ऐड करने जा रही हूँ ये चेक करके करना है, सिंपली कॉपी नहीं करना। आप पहले चेक करो कि एक आइटम जो आप कंसीडर कर रहे हो, ठीक है, वो पहली लिस्ट में है लेकिन वो ही आइटम दूसरी लिस्ट में नहीं होना चाहिए। So few more responses I am getting. Okay, you have converted it to list and then num4 minus num dot intersection। दोनों की इंटरसेक्शन को आपने 4 में से माइनस कर दिया। Okay, so let us check this response whether yep. Okay, if you Jatin Bajaj, so let me check this one whether it is correct or not. So three, 4, 5 for I in num1, if I not in num2, num3 dot append I. So I congratulate all the participants who have just found out the answer. 3, 4, 5 is the answer, and the responses which are matching with this are correct. So I hope now you have understood. So the question here is not to simply copy all the things, लेकिन हमें चेक करके उनको आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि क्या वो आइटम, देखिए अगर हम इसको ऐसे करते तो num1 वाली पूरी लिस्ट ही कॉपी कर दी थी जैसे आपने कुछ ने, तो वो गलत था आपका। यहाँ पे आइटम तो खाली 3, 4 एंड 5 ही आए हैं बेटे, क्योंकि जो नंबर 1 लिस्ट में आइटम है और 2 में आपके नहीं होने चाहिए, तो 1 एंड 2 तो आपके दोनों लिस्ट में है, ठीक है। तो आपने अपने अपने लॉजिक्स लगाए। सो राइट नाउ आई एम नॉट इन अ पोजिशन टू कॉपी ऑल द रिस्पॉन्सेज फ्रॉम चैट विंडो, बट आई हैव शोन यू द रिक्वायर्ड वन। जो एक्सपेक्टेड था वो मैंने आपके सामने यहाँ कर दिया है। सो यू कैन मैच योर रिस्पॉन्सेज। if you are getting the same, then it means you have done it maybe in a different way, but response will be correct. Is it okay with all? Is it okay with all the participants? Those who have not got the way, they can just see the response. I have executed it in my window. So fine, so I'm moving ahead. So after understanding a list in such a detail, I believe now it is not a big task to understand what tuples can provide us. Fine. So the very first difference that you need to understand among tuples and list is tuples are immutable and lists are mutable. And we are left with dictionaries that we will do in the next session. Dictionaries are also mutable. So I hope now all of you are clear what we mean by the term mutable and immutable. So you can categorize your data structures in these two categories, mutable and immutable. So the decision for choosing one among those is depending upon what is your need. If you want that the data should not be updated mistakenly, and you want to keep it intact, you don't want somebody to make changes, fine. So tuple kind of data structures are used. And when you want that there should be freedom at your end to modify the things in terms of addition, deletion, modification, searching, all kind of operations, then prefer mutable data structures, which are lists and dictionaries as well. So next point is tuples and lists are zero index based data structures, and you can also access them with the index value starting from -1. तो जैसे हमने लिस्ट में किया है आप टपल में भी परफॉर्म कर सकते हो सेम ऑपरेशंस. तो अभी आप देखोगे मोस्टली जो ऑपरेशंस हमने लिस्ट पे परफॉर्म किए हैं वो टपल पे भी एग्जीक्यूट आपके होंगे, लेकिन सारे नहीं होंगे. The reason being because tuples are immutable and lists are mutable. तो क्या आप मुझे बताएंगे कोई एक एग्जाम्पल from your understanding of list which cannot be performed on tuples? जितना मैंने आपको डेफिनेशन में अभी बताया, तो वो कौन सा ऑपरेशन है जो आप नहीं परफॉर्म कर पाएंगे? गुड. अबीर, नरूला, जतिन, append, remove. Very nice. So all the operations which are basically going to manipulate your data are not allowed on tuples. Oh. So it's not all these responses are correct, but those who are responded extend and append, insert, many such kind of things, removal, you cannot do, right? So let us see in the upcoming session what kind of operations are allowed and not allowed. So similarly, tuples can also make use of slicing concept, and you can also go for range method in which your starting value is inclusive and ending of the range is exclusive. So first example is how to create a tuple. So just look at this line. So I hope it is visible to all of you. The first example of tuple, I have taken a list of fruits, and there is a small variation. In list, I have used the square brackets. In tuples, only parentheses are allowed. आप यहाँ पे square bracket नहीं लेंगे, parentheses use करेंगे. Print items in a tuple and name of the tuple. So up to this point, it's very easy. Nothing has changed. जो एक डिफरेंस हमने लर्न किया वो क्या है, एक तो टपल इम्यूटेबल है और दूसरा भी हमने लर्न किया कि जो हम इसमें आइटम असाइन कर रहे हैं उसका सिंटेक्स क्या रिक्वायर करते हैं, विद इन द पैरेंथेसिस ऑल द आइटम शुड बी सेपरेटेड बाय कॉमा. रेस्ट इज जैसे आपने लिस्ट में किया है मिक्स काइंड ऑफ डाटा, आप इसमें टपल में भी डाल सकते हो. और अगर आपका डाटा न्यूमेरिक है तो विदाउट कोट्स आएगा, और अगर आपका डाटा स्ट्रिंग टाइप है तो कोट्स में आएगा। तो जो जो आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग अभी डेवलप हुई है लिस्ट को समझ के, आप टपल्स में भी वही कंटिन्यू करोगे, लेकिन पैरेंथेसिस आपको ध्यान रखनी है, इसमें आपकी स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट्स नहीं यूज होंगे और आपके स्मॉल पैरेंथेसिस यूज होंगे। So let us see the next one. Let us see, we try to manipulate the values in tuple. So just run the above example on your systems and just try to manipulate. I'm not going to do it, you do it on your system. Fruits 1 equals to grapes. So will it allow? And if not, what error message it will give you? All of you have responded that you cannot modify. So when it comes to modify, not only addition, I am trying to manipulate the item by assigning a new value. So will it allow or not? So my objective to tell you to run this command is to see the error message. Are you getting my point? आप जो एरर मैसेज पढ़ो वहां पे अगर कुछ जनरेट हो रहा होगा आपकी मशीन पे, तो जो एरर मैसेज आपको मिल रहा है वो आपको बता रहा है कि इसमें क्या ऑपरेशंस आपको अलाउड नहीं है एंड व्हाई. So you will have to remember those things while writing your code. Sometimes we usually make such kind of mistakes in the beginning. कुछ operations आपको allowed नहीं है और आप उसे try करते हो करने के लिए, तो then it will generate error message. Okay, let us move ahead. Now we are trying to delete item. DEL method we have done earlier also. I have made it comment. Fruits 1. So in tuples also, as it is index based data structure, आपको index mention करना होगा. जो भी value आप try कर रहे हो उस पे कोई भी ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म कर रहे हो तो इंडेक्स के थ्रू ही होगा. तो हम डिलीट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, बट अगेन इन डिलीट ऑल्सो इट विल गिव यू अ एरर मैसेज. इट विल नॉट अलाउ यू टू डिलीट आइटम. And now let us see what can we do. What are the different operations that tuples allows us? So you can perform these operations which I am showing you right now. You can access or retrieve the items. All this code is all about the different ways to access your items in a tuple. So I am doing here fruits 2. I am assigning it to second underscore item. हमने यहाँ पे क्या किया है, एक आइटम फेच किया है टपल से. टपल हो या लिस्ट हो, सभी के केस में जब हम रिट्रीव करते हैं आइटम्स को तो स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट में ही इंडेक्स लिखेंगे, और ऐसा ही आपको एरेज में करना होता है. तो सेकंड आइटम आपका इसमें आ गया, दैट सेम आई एम डिस्प्लेइंग हियर. उसके बाद हमने इसमें भी स्लाइसिंग करके देखा है कि स्लाइसिंग कर सकते हैं हम. सो सेकंड से लेकर कॉलन के बाद हमने कुछ भी नहीं दिया, तो इसका मतलब सेकंड से लेकर कॉलन पे हमने कुछ नहीं दिया, तो एप्पल नहीं डिस्प्ले होगा आपका 0 1. इट विल डिस्प्ले मैंगो. फाइन, इट विल डिस्प्ले मैंगो, ऑरेंज एंड गुआवा. द 3 वैल्यूज इट विल डिस्प्ले सेकंड आइटम से लेकर लास्ट तक. उसके बाद हमने इसमें रन किया है स्लाइसिंग कॉलन 2. कॉलन 2 का मतलब है कि स्टार्टिंग से लेकर फर्स्ट आइटम. तो स्टार्टिंग एंड फर्स्ट मींस एप्पल एंड बनाना. 0th and first item will be displayed. उसके बाद हमने इसमें रन करके देखा है 1 colon 4. 1 colon 4, first, second and third 3 items will be fetched from the tuple and it will be stored in the variable which is mentioned on the left hand side. उसके बाद हमने इसमें नेगेटिव इंडेक्स रिट्रीव करके देखा है fruits -2. इसका मतलब है पीछे से आपका जो भी सेकंड आइटम है, रिवर्स डायरेक्शन में 0 से स्टार्ट नहीं होता, रिवर्स में -1 से स्टार्ट होगा आपका. तो पीछे से सेकंड आइटम हो गया आपका ऑरेंज. आंसर विल बी ऑरेंज हियर. सो इन दिस मैनर यू कैन परफॉर्म ऑपरेशंस फॉर एक्सेसिंग द आइटम्स इन योर टपल. उसके बाद है हमारे पास नेक्स्ट रिपीट ऑपरेशन. क्या हम इसमें कुछ रिपीट ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं? सो द सेम वी आर डूइंग हियर. salary equals to 15,000, 20,000, comma 25,000, and I am doing multiply 2. Multiply 2. So just give me in chat window what answer will come. I have assigned the values through this statement. Oh, very good. So what it will do, it will simply repeat the items. So I believe with strings, with list, with tuple, it goes with same logic. So it will just repeat the items. Okay, now you perform this for I in salary, I into 2. What it will show you? For I in salary, colon, I equals to I into 2, print I. So it will take one by one all the elements in your tuple. It will multiply it with 2 and then display. So I'm expecting an answer. What answer will come? 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. So let us see. Yeah. So above display is for the repetition, and then every item of my list will be just multiplied with 2. Mukesh Kumar, the answer is incomplete at your end. Tamanna Garg, you can see the answer. So when we will try to retrieve all the items in the tuple and multiply it with 2, then all the values will be multiplied with 2 and then it will be displayed. So in this manner, you can process your tuple using the for loop. Okay, now I'm going to give you a question. So you create a tuple by using values in the range 4 to 8. Create a tuple by using the values in range 4 to 8. Do it on your systems. Okay, Shivam Maurya, Aman Sharma, T equals to tuple range 4 to 8, print. Okay, let me show you what Aman Sharma has done. So Control C. 4, 5, 6, 7. So now modify the same with the increment of 2. Modify with the increment of, so you will have to generate up to 8. So it means in my tuple only up to 7 is coming. So first modification needed is it should be 9 here. So it will allow me to add 8 also. Very nice. So Shreya Pankaj has added as a step size 2. Let me do the same. So 4, 6, 8. So I hope all of you have understood what we have done. With the name T, we have taken a variable. We have taken a range so that in my tuples, all the values from 4 to 8 should come. And for this 4, 9, we have taken as a start and stop. And if we want a step size 2, then we have given that also. And this newly built tuple is now printed and the values that you will receive will be 4, 6, 8. Very good. So just try to find out the length of the tuple. How you can compute the length of the tuple? We did it for list also. I hope you remember. So just find out the length of the tuple that you have just created. How you will do it? Length of the tuple. So mostly all have done correctly. LEN tuple 1. Okay. LEN method. Very good. Print. Fine. So you take 2 tuples with 5 items and concat the tuples. Take 2 tuples with 5 items each and concat the tuples. So I'm waiting for the responses from your end. Shreya has done, she has created 2 tuples and concatenated them. So let me take this response. Others can just tally whether they are getting or not. So in this manner, the operations mostly that you have performed on list, all these can be performed on tuples also. And I hope you have got the difference also, what kind of operations we cannot perform. So, okay. Can you tell me the minimum and maximum out of the tuple that you have just created? Identify the minimum and maximum out of the tuple. For minimum, it is MIN method, and for maximum, it is MAX method. Compute minimum and maximum out of tuple items. You can make use of the same tuple that you have created. Okay, like minimum equals to min. I have done it with Z, let's say. So it is showing me minimum 1, and similarly you can go for computation of maximum out of the tuple using the max method, and for this again I am putting it on Z and print maximum. So in this manner you can concat your tuples, you can find out minimum, you can find out maximum, you can find out what we have done, min, max, length we have done. Okay. Count the items in tuple. Count the items in tuple. Next question is count the items in tuple. So what you will do for counting? Direct count. Yep. So I told you that length and count are not same. If it is about counting the elements in tuple, length will be used. And if you want to count specific item occurrence, then count will be used. I hope it is clear. So length we have already computed. So if you want to compute occurrence of specific item, then count will be used. So let us do it for the item. Let's say any item, if it is repeating, all the items are different, isn't it? So if you will check occurrence of any item, it will just show you simply 1, because none of the item is repeating. If somebody has created a tuple with repeated items, then you can simply perform your method on that. Let's say z dot count, and I'm mentioning here, let's say 2. So as in the tuple that I just have created, it is having all the items single time. So for every item, count will be just 1. So this count method also you can run on tuple. Okay. Can you please sort the tuple for me? Sort the tuple. We did it for list. So practice भी आपकी इसमें हो रही है, साथ में यही हम list के साथ करते हैं. Sort the tuple. By default it is sorted only. Can you do it in a descending order? So as we can see here that the tuple is already having all the items in order. So let us sort the tuple in descending order. So Z is our tuple name, and you will have to sort the tuple. आई बिलीव सबका हो गया होगा इसमें. तो आप सिंपल सॉर्ट यूज करोगे तो असेंडिंग ऑर्डर में आएगा, और इसको आप अगर डिसेंडिंग में करना चाहते हो तो आपका आ जाएगा reverse equals to true. हम इसको यहाँ ऑफ कर देते हैं. सिंपली अगर हम इसको करेंगे तो ये आपका बाय डिफॉल्ट वैसे ही आपके एलिमेंट सॉर्टेड है. अगर नहीं सॉर्टेड है तो आपके आइटम सॉर्ट हो जाएंगे. Okay, find out the index of item 8. Find out the index of item 8 here. शिवम, सॉर्टिंग में बेटे हम सिर्फ उसको कुछ मैनिपुलेशन नहीं कर रहे, सिर्फ उसको अरेंज करके देख रहे हैं. उसमें कोई नया आइटम आप ऐड ही नहीं कर रहे, उसमें से कुछ निकाल भी नहीं रहे, जस्ट आप उसको देख रहे हो उसको सॉर्ट करके. तो दैट इज अलाउड. रिमूव नहीं कर सकते, डिलीट नहीं कर सकते, अपेंड नहीं कर सकते, एक्सटेंड नहीं कर सकते. So all these points you can note down. These are not allowed on tuples. Find out the index of 8. Okay, z dot index. Okay, so it is taking the descending order list. So in that it is 0, 1, 2, 8 the second index. So accordingly it is showing me the index 2 after finding index value for 8. And if it is in ascending order and then you are trying to do, then definitely its index value will be different. Okay. Can you find out that whether 15 is in the tuple or not? Is item 15 is in the tuple or not? How you will do it? Very good. And if you want to check not in, then you will have to mention the item and not in and tuple name. Okay, last question I am giving to you. You just find out sum and average of tuple items. Take a tuple and find out sum and average of tuple items. You can create a tuple of, let's say, 10 items or 5 items you take for just quickness. Take a tuple with 5 items, find out its sum and average. Just check it out. आप एक टपल क्रिएट करो जिसमें 5 आइटम्स हैं, उसका सम और एवरेज निकाल के देखो. Okay, Vishakha. So Vishakha has responded. Aman Sharma has responded. So a tuple is created with 5 items and sum is computed, length is computed, average you are doing x upon y, and you are displaying x and average. (18) and 6.0. So I hope all of you have understood. We have tried to done in order to make it clear. It is sum of tuple items Similarly, average is there. So I hope all are able to do. So from my end, the contents I have delivered, and in this session, we have covered tuples and we try to understand what are the different operations that we can perform on tuples also, as we did it for list, and we did the practice also for all. And I thank all the participants for their active responses, and mostly many of the candidates have responded for every question. And those who are unable to do, we will share this matter with you people so that you can do it later on also. So in case if there is any query left from your end, you can ask. Otherwise, we will wind up the session after the permission from the session organizers.
So, ma'am, participants, if you have any query, you can ask. Ma'am, there is one query from Aman Goyal. It's there.
What it is?
Ma'am, it's mentioned in chat box that how we can able to delete all the elements of
Function remove is only removes the first element from the list. If the elements are repeated, we can be able to delete all the. So you will have to apply your logic. For such kind of things, I have shared with you how for loop is very effective. So can you do it as and when it encounters the same element, just remove it? That's the only way. So in some of the cases, like in tuples, even we can insert an item, but the things are tricky. That's why we are leaving it up to you to explore the things. अगर आप करके देखोगे तो टपल में भी आइटम इंसर्ट हो जाता है, लेकिन जो वो जिस हिसाब से एक तरीके से हम इंसर्ट करेंगे वो डायरेक्टली नहीं अलाउ करता. So it's a kind of a longer way, longer procedure. You try to copy some of the tuple into another, then copy the modified one, and so on. So in the similar manner, you have understood that as and when we try to operate on tuples, or is it a list, so mostly it ends up with the first value that it founds. Like in index method also the same kind of thing happens when I'm trying to find out the index of a particular item. And if that item is available, let's say thrice, So it will not show me the index values for all of them. It will just tell me what is the index of the first. So you will have to create your logic, make use of loop, traverse the particular data structure, take some temporary variable of list type, and then you can just move on. What kind of value you are searching for? Let's say you are trying to find out the index value of a particular item. So as and when it will find the first occurrence, you just find out its index value and update it in the list. Then you go for the second item. When it encounters, again check its index, append the another list. And after the loop, you just display the list that at which index values you have found the item. And similarly, for remove also, you will have to apply your logic. Any other query?
Okay, any other questions from the student side?
So in case if there is no other query, so and whatsoever you have learned, I have also really enjoyed the session along with you people. Your interaction and collaborative learning has made the delivery part much more interesting at my end also. If it is a one-way communication, I believe learning is very less. And when it goes both ways, then more and more learning we can do, and we can contribute as a contributor also. So I believe we all have together learned the things, and I appreciate your efforts. So see you in the next session then on Monday. Aman ma'am, are you there, or
Yeah,
Puneet?
yeah. Yes, ma'am. Puneet will be there on Monday in the morning, and
Okay,
I will
ma'am.
be there in the
Okay.
this afternoon session.
Okay, ma'am. So in case if after practicing you end up with some more queries, so definitely we can take up.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. So thank you very much, ma'am, for this nice presentation for and explaining each and every concept related to this list and tuple feature in case of Python. And I also agree with you that always
Those on Monday.
yeah.
So with this, happy weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Then we will
Leave
meet
the
on
Aman ma'am.
Hanji. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So I'm leaving the meeting.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.